podcast radio show. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes,
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
and today we got nobody else. It's just us, but that's okay, because we got some things to talk about.
Which this is news to me because I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but I'll just go with the flow.
Well,
I've been a
first,
little busy with the comic and the working on Drunk Batman, so I haven't had a chance to keep up the news.
that's
But
okay.
that's why I'm here today.
That's why I do the work.
Spencer's where I get my news from generally, anyway. So
Well, did you hear that Mitt Romney's not going to support PBS anymore? But he
Yeah.
still likes Big Bird.
I saw that that was in the debate. Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes Big Bird. It's just like you realize how much you open yourself up to make fun of with that statement. But I do like Big Bird. I do like Big Bird. Isn't PBS like one of the only networks that doesn't have like a bunch of like marketing and all that kind of stuff?
Well, because it's all
It's all donations, right?
Yeah, it's all in each town or whatever. Say wherever your PBS is located at, like that town kind of runs the PBS the way it wants to run it. You know, you get the programming; it's got to be kind of like that, but they can all be slightly different because it's all public broadcasting. So that's why, like over here in California, we'd get shows like Hill Hauser and stuff, but you wouldn't get that like in New York, or you wouldn't get that in Florida or anything like that.
I watched a lot of PBS when I was in elementary school. I watched. You'll probably remember this show. Do you remember Wishbone?
Mm-hmm.
I watched that show all the time. Now I look
Wishbone's
back.
great. I have the Wishbone stuffed animal.
I had a keychain of Wishbone. People are like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, it's Wishbone. They looked at me like I was like all my friends are like you're not like playing with like X-Men or nothing. You got a fucking stuffed dog. I'm like, it's
Fucking
Wishbone.
Reed.
Yeah. And then there's
I got a Wishbone pen that came. Do you remember that Wendy's had toys for Wishbone?
I don't remember that. No.
I just remember that was kind of cool.
There's Bill Nye the Science Guy, of course.
Yeah, Bill Nye was very classic.
And this isn't like so much a bad show, but I just more or less it wasn't a favorite show. But I watched this goes on. It was Arthur, the
Yeah, well,
anteater.
it's not a bad show. It's one of those shows like it's kind of like you really feel kind of nerdy watching it, but it's not like it's got like bad
Well,
values or anything.
It was one of those shows. It was kind of I understand what they're trying to do because it was like an educational show. It did have educational values. It always just seems weird whenever they take a book series because Wishbone wasn't a book series, but it feels weird whenever they take a book series like, all right, we're getting kids to read. Let's make a cartoon. It's kind of like when J.K. Rowling. I mean, money's money. I'm not giving her too much shit, but when she's like, "Oh, we got children back into reading through Harry Potter. Here's some video games over here."
And
movies
you don't even have to read anymore.
Yeah. Well, movies unavoidable. I don't know if there's any way around that one, but the video games though, that was the one. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
I played a Harry Potter video game once. It's kind of interesting.
I remember I didn't really play very many of them. But didn't they really just start off as like platformers and work their way into like third-person shooters?
Oh, they were never platformers. The first one was it was kind of cool because it was kind of like a semi like third-person adventure RPG where you'd run around Hogwarts and you had to do shit and use magic spells and whatnot. But it was just kind of cool because it was open world, and at the time, I guess that was kind of cool.
Well, I guess I kind of looked at it. Looked kind of like a cross between Mario 64 and like Legend of Zelda to me, from what it looked like when I first saw it.
It was very much like Legend of Zelda, but there was no jumping, I don't think.
And then I saw now just like it looks like Gears of War, but people are like throwing waving wands and shit.
Everything's Gears of War nowadays. Gears of War is one of the best video game franchises I can think of, but not everything has to be Gears of War. I like Gears of War to be Gears of War, but Mass Effect doesn't need to be Gears of War.
Dude,
sometimes Resident Evil doesn't need to be Gears of War.
Where does Mitt Romney stand on Gears of War?
That's a good question. We should fucking ask him that. They're gonna ask questions tonight on the debate. It'd be so badass.
Where do you stand on Gears of War? He's like, I don't know what this Gears of War is. And Mom's like, fuck yeah, Gears of War is awesome.
I'm playing it right now. That's why I look so relaxed.
And the one white guy in the audience is not the one white, but the one like guy who's trying to relate to him, like, you play as Coltrane, right? He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. The only black guy in Gears of War. Actually, they have
Trace or whatever.
They have multiple black guys now. They've kind of evened it out.
I know that guy's such a bad He's just such a stereotype. He's just such like
Well, the way that I look at it is because Baird is also like the biggest stereotype of like a white person. And I think that Cole and Barrett, they're both stereotypes, but I don't consider them bad stereotypes. I consider them they have all the good qualities of a stereotype. You know what I mean? I know some people could be like, well, Cole, he's the big black, loud guy, but he's lovable though. He's happy. He brings the team together. And Baird, he's got all the white stereotypes of like he's fearful of others. He's really good with technology, but he's never really too sure of anything. He really thinks everything's gonna like shit and fall to pieces.
Baird's the guy if they go like rolling into a bad town, like maybe we should roll up the windows, guys.
Yeah, he's really that guy. But here's the thing, though. Baird and Cole, best fucking friends.
There you go. We need a picture of them for like like a civil like
Unite.
Yeah, exactly. Them like shaking hands.
Yeah, them either shaking hands or like arms around shoulders or something.
Two extreme stereotypes, friends. Yeah. I guess there's a bright side to everything. All right, so back to the
So
other
Mitt
stuff,
Romney,
though.
he's not funding PBS. He decided to cut his funding of PBS. And I read an article in a um, Time that said that that's only going to affect like the really small stations of like PBS when like really rich people stop funding it. Because if you live in obviously a city, you got a lot of rich people funding it. So Sacramento, New York, San Francisco, any of those PBSs, they'll be fine. But they say like the small ones, like things like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is kind of funny because it's like they even mentioned they're like, well, when it really gets down to it, like PBS, you think Mitt Romney would really like that for the fact that like it's
He
all
likes
about
Big Bird. What the fuck?
yeah, he
Think
likes
that'll be
Big Bird.
enough.
But if they say it's kind of like it's all small town kind of ish, like in the old fashioned sense of Republican, where it's just like we work together for our own local entertainment, no big union thing.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was funny when I saw that. I was flipping through it. I was like, what the?
I'll be honest. I don't think PBS is the. I mean,
No, well, PBS. Well, the thing about it is like, 'cause that's one of the most like I don't. I'd say it's one of the most fair programming stations. Like if you watch any of the news off that and stuff, that doesn't come across like biased. That's one of the places you can actually see third party stuff. That's where they actually originally played the BBC News.
Generally, you just see a lot
Which
of
BBC
third-party.
is the same thing as PBS. But
Generally, you see a lot of third-party stuff, like at like 3 o'clock in the morning on like MSNBC or CNN, like at like during the shake weight commercials or something.
Yeah, they mix it in. Like at 3 a.m. you can see the debate between
the Green Party and
the other people that we don't give a fuck about: peace and freedom, Green Party, Libertarian.
And then we got
it's done at like RJ's hoedown like barn.
Come and get a coupon for like Billy's barbecue. Billy's barbecue shack.
You could ride a pig around if you'd like. They're kind of like golf carts, but
with every like Green Party vote, get a coupon.
But
we're fucking desperate here, people.
I got some movie kind of news that has nothing to do with regular.
Is that all we
news.
got on politics right there?
No. Well, I don't know.
One thing I want to say real quick. Like, I'll be honest about the PBS thing. It would suck to see that go, because that's like one of the I guess like you said, one of the last fair networks, and it's actually fairly educational.
Well, no, it's actually really educational. It's not just fairly educational. I mean, that outbeats any other educational channel. It doesn't matter what it is. You can put Discovery, History, and all those ones together. They're nothing compared to like what PBS does.
It kind of fucks with the kid's head. Like, how's that dog leading that whole army into the Greek battle, of Troy? That's kind of fucked with my head for a little while, but
kind of happens that way.
I'm just fucking. Wishbone was a good show though, but I don't know if I could watch it now. I'm afraid to kind of watch it now because I'm afraid it's gonna kind of warp you kind of got this nice pristine memory for God, this was dog shit, no pun intended, but I'm afraid to go back and watch it now just for that reason.
I was watching not Five Goes West, but American Tail, the very first Five movie last night.
And that's a very serious movie for being a kid's flick.
It pretty much is. And it's one of those ones. It's one of those movies too where it makes the Russians out to be the biggest pieces of shit in the planet, because the Russians are like the cats. But when they get to America, who the fuck are the cats supposed to be in America though?
I guess maybe like the
just
gangsters or something.
Any other person that fucks with Jews.
I'll be honest. The movie it's been a long
time. Even though
it's
a mix of Jews and Italians and
it's been
Irish.
It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, so I can't. There's something that always stood out to me. Something that stood out to me like this is wrong, even as a kid. When when he washes up on shore and the French pigeon oh hello little mouse boy, come back to my pad. He's giving him a bath right there. It's it's one of those things. It's kind of like they're animals. Granted, the pigeon ends up being a nice guy, but that's really
like if some French guy picked you up on the shore, you never met this guy before,
and wants to give you a bath.
And for some reason he's got 3 hookers that live with him too.
See, that's all I really remember from the movie. Just the French pigeon giving a kid mouse a bath.
Well, it's one of those. I haven't seen the American Tail one in a long time. I've seen the Five Goes West one, but I haven't seen.
You mean oh yeah, that one.
Five Goes West is the second one. And there's actually a third one I'd never seen.
It was like a straight to video one. Doesn't fucking count.
I think even the Five Goes West came to theaters too.
That went to theaters,
okay.
And I'll say this: the first one was a huge metaphor and allegory, but the second one was just blatantly just kind of like a shout out to old westerns, and
Yeah, it really was.
it was just that was really a movie.
It had Jimmy Stewart in it.
That was a movie they literally made just to cash in a check. But regardless, I still remember that being a good movie.
No, that was a really cool one too. But yeah, the first one really
Granted,
has a
I
fucking
love
message.
westerns. So, yeah.
And I think that's a good way to make it, like, a good educational kid show.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like as with PBS, it's like, as it
Back
comes
to
down to
PBS.
kids, here's the thing, is they don't bombard children with fucking ads for, like, shit they don't need. Cereal with sugar in it. All kinds of action figures that, well, it'd be cool to have. We all know how expensive those get.
Yeah, we do.
So that's the nice thing about PBS. And even for other shows, it's great because you can watch a fucking, like, 2-hour, like, documentary. It's fucking 2 hours. It's not like an hour and 20 minutes with, 40 minutes of commercials.
Every once in a while, though, I could understand why they would have trouble, like, with their funding. I remember, I'm not sure if this is when you were in Mr. Campbell's class. Back in high school, we both took a multimedia class. And he wasn't there one day, so they just put on a DVD. This DVD they happened to throw on in multimedia.
Is that the cock DVD?
It was the cock DVD. By cock, we mean chickens. There was it was literally a documentary on chickens and just the way they live and the different breeds of chickens. Now, I'm all for PBS, but aim a little fucking higher, because if that's the best you got is documentary on chickens.
Well, I think the thing about that too is like,
and it wasn't anything like revolutionary. Like this is like a factory farm. Look how fucked up this is. It was like, oh, this is a rare chicken. This lady's really rich and has way too much fucking time and money, and has like a fucking, like, remember that there was like some crazy old bitch that was way too fucking rich, had like a pillow she put her chicken in, she'd take it with her when she went shopping and all that. And
well, I will say a lot of PBS shows are kind of made for really old people to just want real, like, nice, peaceful entertainment. Like, they don't want feuds, they don't want fight, they want, like, well, it's good to see something good in America for once.
I don't know.
And I can understand that. I just think that's like that's the worst documentary to show to a bunch of fucking high school kids that joined a class mainly to make some fucked up videos.
And plus, they would generally frequently use the word cock. Like, it's not a big deal. Well, this cock right here.
Like JR kept going like, there's a whole bunch of cock going around here. Why is there so much cock on this movie?
That lady sure loves her cock. Ha ha. But no, there was a. I wasn't me. I was quoting someone else in class. But what happened?
Now back to the sponsoring of PBS.
No, one more thing on PBS. One more thing on PBS. There was actually, I was really surprised about this. There was a Sunday nights. I don't know if they still do this, but Sunday nights during like late '90s, early 2000s, they would actually play anime subtitled. I'm not talking about like your anime like Dragon Ball Z or anything like that stuff people knew, like Evangelion.
They pulled some artsy shit out.
They threw some well, not even artsy shit. I mean, when I say like Dragon Ball Z, I'm not trying to like bring it down. I mean things people didn't really know about.
Well, I think like Dragon Ball Z, it's not artsy, it's action.
Well, there's some action stuff. There's one called Dirty Pair Flash, which sounds like a fucking porno. Which
it really does.
Well, a friend of mine showed me like a few episodes of it. It was alright. It was generally, like two hot chick cops in the future don't get along, kind of like cyberpunkish,
that's cool,
like action comedy thing. But anyway, they showed Evangelion on there, which is surprising given all like the like religious metaphors within that and how like dark and deep that show gets. I mean, the show starts off pretty lighthearted, but as it goes on, it's like, this is fucked up. And they actually had that show on there for a while, and that was just one of those things that was really surprising to me.
Well, see, that's the cool thing about PBS. You really just get a whole lot. You get education, you get all kinds of foreign programming, and plus there's no commercials. The only downfall, I guess, is there's always that period where PBS does the thing where they'll play a concert. You're like, oh, badass. And they're like, now if you donate $200, you can keep great programming like this alive. Now, they pick up that phone and donate those $200, because I ain't fucking leaving till you do.
I got nowhere to be. Fuck.
It's like, we got 3 weeks of this, and it's only going to stop the second that we reach our goal. Our goal. So
just looks at his watch.
So back to the Who. And then after one more song, back to me. I'm longer than 3 songs put together.
And they would like fucking guilt trip you. They would
no, like, they really would. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know that's how like that's how that shit happens, and that's why there's no fucking commercials. It's the same thing with like NPR on the radio station, and like all that stuff. But there's always that period where it's like, oh, I'm gonna flip in some classical music. Oh, I guess it's that period. I guess it's that time. If I was really rich though, I would donate money. If I was fucking Mitt Romney, I would be donating money to that shit. What the fuck?
I heard they were showing Evangelion like, so you can get this PBS bag and a box set of the Evangelion DVDs if you'd like. It just would help if someone would send a fucking check. You know, it's not like we're asking for for an arm and a leg here. Just enough to
Just
keep
$200.
just keep you motherfuckers entertained because you like to watch it. You don't like to pay for it. This shit doesn't. You know, they weren't really saying that, but you could. The guy was almost at that level, that very dry, sarcastic tone. Like, look at me, I'm 50. You think I watch this shit? I don't give a shit. What?
No, I got premium satellite.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing about PBS. As much as I like PBS, so it always did come across as like very like almost like the stuff that like Willy Wonka's like family would watch, like sitting on that bed together. Like they're so poor, but they want to be educated.
You mean like Charlie, like
Or yeah, Charlie. That's not Willy
Willy
Wonka.
Wonka be like having like getting his feet massaged, having an Oompa Loompa blow him while he watched it.
No, he would have fucking like Dish Premium.
Yeah.
But no, like
I
Charlie's
could donate. I could donate, you know, but I'm not gonna.
Family. I got the money.
Gets on the phone like, Mitt, you gonna donate to him? Not me either. Fuck him. Fuck Big Bird. All right, no, but yeah, but we're good. We're better at tangents, the actual topic. But all right, go back to the thing with Romney and PBS and all that.
But yeah, so he's not. He said he just wants to cut spending on that. So the kind of the sucky thing about that is there goes good programming. I don't know. Enough said. I mean, come on.
No, I agree with you there.
You know what? That's one of the few stations that doesn't bitch out and have like, well, like their reality shows are like what a reality show should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody going around and showing real life shit without the fucking screenwriters and stuff there.
No, I see what you mean. I agree with you. So like, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV, so I'd be lying if I said this affected me a whole lot, but I think it's a lot better than like throwing Noggin on for kids. I mean, well, Noggin's not a bad network for a kid, but I mean,
Noggin run by Nickelodeon. Is that one of those like offshoots
Nickelodeon?
Because
Yeah.
Nickelodeon's got like 5 channels nowadays.
Yeah, it's one of my youngest nephew watches Noggin, and but it's better than like fucking throwing on like say like I guess mainly like Nick Jr. or something, and like having a bunch of like sugar commercials.
Well, yeah, because that's the main thing though. Is like Nickelodeon. Not like there's anything wrong with the actual shows. It's just the commercials really. It's like they're so worried about being able to like skip those commercials, especially for children. I think.
Yeah.
But I got some other movie news we can move into.
Movie news, okay.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead might be in Captain America 2.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. It's a maybe at the moment. There wasn't too much more on it or who she'd play.
I always thought she'd be a very good Mary Jane.
But that's like my favorite actress, so I don't really care what she's in. I will see it.
Gives you because you didn't like Captain America 1, but you'll see 2 for.
I would see 2 anyways, because I hope it just like they fix kind of the problems that they had in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just hope they just kind of take away more of the campiness.
I think
and make it feel a little bit more realistic. But I think since this one's going to be kind of,
it's going to be set in modern day. I think this one's going to be more of like, if I had to guess, because this is the vibe I get from when I read a Captain America comic this day and age. It's kind of like a superhero version of Bourne Identity.
Yeah.
Not the whole amnesia aspect, but it has very much of just that espionage, covert vibe to it with a dude in a bright blue and red suit. But it's still, you know, I still read the comics, and I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead would be a good. I don't know. Did they say who she's gonna play?
Nope. There was another guy mentioned, but I didn't know who he was, so I feel kind of bad for not writing his name down.
Well, this one they're going with the Winter Soldier plot line.
Yeah.
And what that, you know what that one is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, for those of you at home, I'll just sum this up real quick. Spoiler alert: Bucky from Captain America 1. He's not. If they go with they're following the plot line, he's not really dead. He got blown out the thing. Up the train, the Russians find him and they train him to be their like assassin. They brainwash him to fight for the motherland and all that. That ends up happening. He ends up shaking it off and helping out Cap in the long run. And becomes
that's cool.
Yeah. So in it, he actually had kind of a romance with Black Widow at some point. So I don't know if they're gonna bring that into there or not.
That'd be kind of cool if they did spice up a bit.
Yeah.
But
She could. Who knows? She might be Captain America. Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She might be Captain America's girlfriend, Shannon something. I don't know. He goes through girlfriends. You know how it is.
he's the captain.
He's the captain. You can't. He's the cap before Captain Morgan.
Yeah, he's the
real captain.
Boy, they should have a versus thing between Captain America versus Captain Morgan.
That'll be like. I should thought like next Marvel versus Capcom or something like Captain Morgan special
Fucking
character.
they decide, well, we're not gonna do the Winter Soldier anymore. We're just doing something better came up.
I will fucking see that regardless.
Captain, it just be call it Captain versus Captain.
Just two of them just squinting at each other like inches apart, you know. I would see that.
Shit. That'd be really cool. Anyways, it'd be like a pirate movie / a Captain America movie. That's just all badass all around. Like maybe Captain America somehow, some way, gets thrown back in time.
Yeah, and he has to go against Captain
Now
Morgan.
we have to make this whole like. Probably nobody thought this one out back in the day, but there's a whole fucking like sub story to like Captain Morgan.
They got to think that one out. Probably not too
Well,
hard.
we're not that far
He's
off,
probably just
though,
raping and pillaging, you know,
taking shit from like anything and turning into a story.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean they're considering making. All right, they're considering making Viewmaster a movie. They're considering making. They made fucking Battleship.
Yeah, I say,
They can make Captain
once
Morgan.
you make Battleship, you can make anything.
When you consider they're making Ouija board. They're considering Viewmaster. They're making a Tonka Trunk movie starring Adam Sandler. So, really, I'm not saying a Captain Morgan movie needs to be made, but by this point, it doesn't sound as bad compared to other things. I'd see a Captain Morgan movie.
That sounds badass.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Well, here's another movie coming out. They're making a female Expendables movie now called Expendables, as in like Belle from like
Really?
Beauty and the Beast.
It's a spin-off, but okay.
I don't think it's actually in this. It's not like in like the timeline. It's just a movie ripping off the Expendables and putting women in the
Is
cast.
it like a straight to DVD to like or go straight to Netflix or something?
I can't imagine me. It's probably not gonna be. It will obviously won't be a theatrical release, like or a mainstream theatrical release. But who knows? I like Expendables.
It's probably just gonna be like a lot of explosions and
It'll probably just be like a 1970s movie. Like
that's probably what it's gonna be, and I could see it being. I mean, who knows? Is there any names attached to it that you took down?
nobody. If I didn't recognize that, right now, I feel kind of bad when it's like that. You weren't that important to me.
If I don't know who you are, then you really clearly don't fucking matter a whole lot. Expendables.
I just thought that was just an interesting one. And then my third movie topic is Aaron Paul of Breaking Bad, the guy who plays Jesse. He's going to be in the Need for Speed movie, the video game Need for Speed movie.
Why the fuck are we making Need for Speed? We already have Fast and the Furious. Same fucking thing.
Well, here's the thing. This makes it like no sense because Need for Speed.
It's in the future.
No, it's supposed to be like a 70s movie.
Oh.
And the thing about Need for Speed is you were mostly always driving the most highest end cars on the market for each game. You're always driving those cars. Literally, you're always driving those sport cars that like 10 people in the world own almost. That's mostly what they were. So the idea of this, like 70s, like what, you drive a bunch of muscle cars? Because muscle cars were like really nowadays. I think they're more in Need for Speed games. I haven't played one for fucking ever. But the game was mostly always about. I mean, like the Corvette was like the lowest. That was like the beginner car was a fucking Corvette.
Here's what I have to say about that. I would be down for a total 70s style like muscle car movie. I love Bullet. Crazy Larry, Crazy Mary Larry, whatever it was.
Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, yeah. All that stuff's pretty badass. Like, Vanishing Point.
No, I like Fast and the Furious a lot.
I like Fast and the Furious, but it's one of those things. Why don't you just call it something else then? Because it's Need for Speed.
Well, it's just those ones like, in my opinion, those are the wrong video games to be making movies off of.
I think probably it's just a cheap license to get.
Yeah, well, that's I think what happens is they're cheap licensing. You know, what I mean, it has a somewhat of a name that you can get people to show up. That's the thing, though. The name will pull in just a handful of people and probably make. It's one of those movies. It'll probably double its profits, and that's all it needs to do.
I guess so. I'm just looking at it like I have no problem against like a 70s muscle car movie. Just call it something else because that's not even what Need for Speed is. In Need for Speed, there's no need for a Need for Speed movie because that's why we have Fast and the Furious and a bunch of ripoffs of it.
So yeah, I don't know. Strange stuff like that. Well, apparently
Yul Bow's not involved, is he?
Who?
Yul Bow, or whatever his name is.
I didn't see it.
He's the guy that he directed. He like German director. He directed fucking House of the Dead, Blood Rain 1 and 2, I think. He does a lot of those cheap like video game movies just because they're cheap licenses. He knows loopholes around the German tax system or something. So he did Postal.
I don't know. It felt like they're gonna make it more of a bigger movie than that. Actually, it felt like they're actually gonna lay down some money because cars mostly can sell pretty well. That's one upside to car movies. The one thing you just never want to do in a car movie, because this will piss off every car fan generally, is make it CG though.
Like Driven.
Yeah, you just gotta be very careful of that because that will piss car fans off like no other.
Oh, I know.
But if you make a full-on car movie, they will show.
I'll be honest. As long as it looks good, I'll probably see it. Not because of the title, just because I wouldn't mind seeing another 70s. Muscle car
if it looks cool, whatever. We'll find out.
Probably closest thing we'll get to a new Steve McQueen movie. So.
Well, apparently this
Not saying Jesse from Breaking Bad is as cool as Steve McQueen, but,
no, but
you know what I mean. All right, go ahead.
Well, somebody else is gonna set a new record in a sense. A new Bigfoot expedition, and this guy says, "You know what we never fucking done before? Did it by fucking air and look for Bigfoot." So he built himself a fucking air. Well, I say like he built himself an airship, like he built it in his backyard. I think like him and a team of other scientists.
So we're off movie news right now. This is actually happening.
This is actually full on happening. This is
Okay.
a new Bigfoot expedition, and they're gonna search all the Bigfoot hotspots of like all these high tech cameras and stuff in a fucking airship.
They'll be coming here.
So yeah, they'll probably be flying around here. So, and also it's apparently too in Texas. If you ever want to shoot Bigfoot, it's apparently legal.
Yo, we got ourselves a good old fashioned Bigfoot jerky down here. Come on, by. It's like, look, it's one of the most rarest, most beautiful specimens on the planet.
But the
Earth.
second you
Let's
see it,
fucking kill it.
I just love how it's like Texas, dude. That just makes you laugh. You know,
Texas is the only place.
no, everybody else be like, that's so fucking stupid. Are we actually gonna write that down in the law book? You know, I mean, really, has anybody ever seen Bigfoot before? No. I mean, yeah, 1/3 Americans apparently believe Bigfoot's real. But seriously, I mean, what's the chance to? Well, the second I fucking see it, I'm shooting it. I'm
Same
shooting
goes
every
for-
animal out here, and if I see that Bigfoot, I shoot it.
Shoots
Rape it.
He shoots and rapes Bigfoot. So, all right, there we go. Pulls out a checklist, like knocks that off down the list. It's like a unicorn, Loch Ness monster,
Dodo.
a leprechaun,
The Kraken,
the chupacabra. You know, just going down this list. Like, all right,
Jersey Devil.
it's only just begun. No, fuck the Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil's an asshole. But
He fucked me once. That was what made me start this list.
oh, and now I guess you got a reason for the Jersey Devil, but leave everyone else alone.
But so that's the new thing. I'm like, when I was a kid, Bigfoot was. I always thought that was really cool. But the second you start watching a bunch of those shows, and then you realize they never find shit,
It was a guy in a Chewbacca outfit.
it really just kind of bothers you. It's just like, you know, I think it's one of those ones like the idea of Bigfoot, like actually being able to see a Bigfoot. I think is a really cool thing. I like to almost like believe that exists out there. That there is something that we haven't like pillaged, raped, and tested yet.
I feel like the idea, like there's something
There's
new
something
that we could pillage, rape, and test.
No, I hope that we don't have to do that
Yeah,
with this
yeah.
kind of creature. Unlike the you know at the turn of the century when they used to just do that to like every single thing they found.
This is gonna seem off topic for a second, but really one of the most emotional things I've ever seen involve Bigfoot. And people are gonna roll their eyes.
In
and
Red
there's
Dead.
Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, the part when you like says a Bigfoot came and took our baby, and then just some like crazy old fucker out in the woods, and you go and you kill all the Bigfoots. It's actually kind of a creepy mission because because they kind of blend in. They don't appear solely on your radar. They kind of blend in. So you might see something like move in the corner of your eye. Like, what the fuck was that? And you go. Plus the music and the timing. So after you kill them all, you come down to the last one.
I want to explain this really quick before you go any further. I remember because I was using this. I can't remember what the gun's called.
The dynamite rifle.
Yeah, I was like, one of those like so like usually like they just explode like. Like America, bam! Just like no fucking evidence left after that.
And then you come to the last Bigfoot.
There's
John
fucking
Marston,
crying.
who's always been kind of like just such like a good character in the series. I thought he's all like, "What are you doing stealing babies?" Like, I never stole a baby. I never did anything. Go on, kill me. You killed my family. Just full on, just crying, bawling, and just says, "I'm already dead." Then it gets up and just walks away, just crying, and it's just like, fuck me.
And it really gives you the option. You can fucking kill him, or you can let him live on.
Which I don't know. I'm just
I couldn't kill him. It was just like, no, that's boy, like that was fucking good acting right there. You know what I mean?
like John Marston's like, here's an Oscar.
He's literally.
No, I was just like one of those things. Like I say, I'm like, I can't play this right now. I had to turn it off. I had to take a shower. I felt dirty for killing all those Bigfoots.
I know, just like.
But back to the real Bigfoot.
So, yeah.
So they're in an airship, like trying to snap shots of them.
So apparently nobody's ever done it by air. So this is the new thing.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I know.
You think they would have tried that one by now? But okay, whatever.
Whatever. I really don't feel like those guys are funded enough to be like trying everything they want.
Wait, is there like an organization that's like a government organization funded to find Bigfoot? That'd be fucking awesome. It's like, are they funding to find like Loch Ness monster, and unicorns, and all that shit too, or?
Yeah, that's not government. These are all, I think, private.
Okay, all private then. All right, I was gonna say you said they're not
There
funded.
probably
enough.
is like an actual fucking government organization that's made for like all the occult type stuff.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Hitler was really big on that.
We probably gotta have some kind
So
of
I'm
division.
pretty sure that
just
like
in case,
because you know America would like if they saw another country doing something, they're like, well, we gotta have our occult squad, and they probably is 5 guys that they're like a union, so they're not gonna give up this fucking job.
we didn't want a gap in the Doomsday Project.
So America's they still have to keep paying this money out for these
Is that what
guys.
the line was? We didn't want a gap in the Doomsday Project or something?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Doctor Strangelove. Watch it if you haven't seen it yet.
Good movie. But okay. Well, here's this. I got two stories that kind of run semi together,
Alrighty.
and this is the part where like the podcast talking about poor gay people.
Poor gay people.
There was a gay teen that was denied becoming an Eagle Scout because the Boy Scouts for the last 100 years they have like a rule in there that if you're openly gay, you can't be in the Boy Scouts.
Is it a Christian ran organization or?
Not that I know of. I think it's just old-fashioned American. I know there's Christianness to it, but I know there can also be like
You don't have the Christ badge or nothing?
no, there's nothing. I mean, like I think there's a faith badge, but you can go to anywhere to get that.
Okay.
So there's religion involved in because I was in Boy Scouts. There was religion involved, but it was never like a full-on religion thing. There was like that was kind of like there was a badge for faith. They wanted you to kind of like do.
Not to be this guy, but really we gotta. I mean, all right. I'm gonna try and say this without fucking freaking the fuck out.
Are you trying to say that like the Boy Scouts is really kind of like a very gay group as is?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's like, all right. Me and a bunch of kids are going up into the woods. Leave the woman behind. We don't want it. We don't want them to get in the way of the bromance.
No, I was in Boy Scouts, and it literally is pretty fucking gay. You learn a lot of cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. There is like you get some good values out of it. You learn some good skills. It kind of has like good old-fashionedness to it. But I don't know, just a bunch of men hunkering up in the middle of the woods. Like literally all men. They don't. There's not a single fucking woman there whatsoever. And I don't know, maybe they're just really afraid that there was like the chance of there being gay people in there, it just could come to this mass outbreak of like
one guy starts
one guy, and then they're like, well, there's no women here, so no one will know.
One guy does it, so everyone else like, well, we can't do it. We can't do this, or we can't let anybody know about it at least. All right, so this kid's a giant fuck pile.
Because really, Boy Scouts kind of comes across. It comes across as like kind of a very big kind of gay group, and also a man-boy love group.
That's one of the reasons I never joined. I mean, I'm not one of those like homophobes or nothing, but I never joined Boy Scouts just because it just seems so fucking weird. Like me and a bunch of like other kids and full-grown men are going up into the woods that I don't know.
Well, I guess just like when you live up in the woods, like, cause like I remember at first, like mostly everybody was in Boy Scouts, and people kind of like all dwindled out over time.
And I noticed something. I mean, with the exception of you, most people I know that were in Boy Scouts usually end up like later just being the complete opposite of everything the Boy Scouts stood for.
Yeah, you get kind of like one or two people.
You get a few actually, you're right. You get people that stick with it.
Because I know some people that like went all the way through and they did really good, but mostly the thing is like you get everybody who kind of joined it first. Like it's just like whenever you're a kid, you're in all kinds of groups.
My mom and dad wanted me to go.
You play t-ball. You play whatever the fuck there is. You do the group organizing. And I wasn't a big fan of groups. I really hated groups actually. That's why they bothered me. I couldn't stand actually being on a team. I didn't like
you. No.
They're fucking pissing me off. So you know what I mean. I'm like a solo act.
If you did it my way, we would have fucking won.
Yeah. But
getting away all this fucking teamwork bullshit.
But still, it's kind of funny when you think about it, because a lot of the people that really like the thing about Boy Scouts, there always seemed like there was always a couple of gay kids in it. It just felt like kind of like attracted that. I don't know, just like no matter what. But I just think it's just one of those ones like really getting on the whole point, like denying something. It's like this day and age, 100 years later. You know what I mean?
Move the fuck on.
Yeah, literally, like you know what I mean.
This is just so fucking stupid. It's like as if one gay guy is gonna suddenly turn everybody else gay, and the fact that he's gay, he's gonna start fucking like the nearest thing he sees.
Well, I feel this is the only thing I can assume is that since it is a bunch of men up in the woods with a bunch of boys, I think the thing is they have this total fear that if they accepted gayness, that's what everybody would just assume it was. Because the day that you accept that must be what it is. I think that's like the fear they have. They have like that very like scared conservative fear that like the second that they allow it, that's what it's just going to become.
So you mean we're allowed to have a gay guy here? Yeah, you're allowed to have to. Okay, no problem. Okay, guys, just into the fuck pile.
It's just gonna turn to like the Castro district or something.
Just like fucking like they changed the uniforms to pink or something. That's probably what some old timer who's been in it since like the fucking dawn of time is probably afraid is gonna happen.
fucking George from the gym, just
Fuck
like
George from the gym.
the most bitterest old fuck on the planet. He told me the day he was all like,
There's this old. Let me just clarify real quick. The gym Spencer works at. There's this stupid old fuck, and it's not the fact that he's old. He's an old man or he's conservative. On top of that, I mean, yeah, you could tell we're fairly liberal and older people being conservative. I understand that, but this guy's just a fucking prick. Now that we got that out of the way, on with your story.
he's just like the ultimate bitter old fuck. That's really all I can say. Like, I can't think of anybody who's more bitter, who's more old, and who's more of a fuck than this guy. He's the kind of guy who won't say, if you say, like, see you later, he won't say anything. He won't even fucking look at you. He'll just keep walking at about 1.2 miles per hour out that fucking door.
Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. This is what he told me today. He comes in, and I was all, hey, how's your day going? He's like, I think that every day it's about to end.
Well, when you're his age, you probably do think
Well,
that.
that's what I was thinking too. But I think what he meant is that the fact that if Barack Obama gets elected, because he has on the back of
Did
his
he say
truck,
that?
there's literally like eight fucking different like bumper stickers. I'm not kidding you, like 8 fucking different bumper stickers of like no Obama, Mitt Romney and all this stuff. I mean, like it's fine if that's what you want to be as a Mitt Romney fan, that's cool. But when you get to this point where it's just like you're just like, if Obama gets elected, the world's gonna like suddenly just like burst.
I think it's
And
funny.
like, I always love what Americans say, because when Americans say that, like, if Obama gets elected, the world's gonna collapse because America is the world to them. But so he comes there, and then he says like, the next thing he's like, the only time I felt like I ever had control was when I was in Korea. And he's like, no, he's like, I thought we were doing them good there, and then I came back home, and I couldn't do anything.
When I had my foot on top of a 14-year-old Korean boy's chest with my gun pointed at his forehead,
we were in control, but now.
I got respect for people in the service and all that and veterans, but that's really like, fuck, really? That's the best that ever was when I was killing and maiming someone else. But go ahead.
And then he ends his statement with saying that the U.S. is going to turn into North Korea.
Stupid old fuck.
And that was all he said. Then he went up to work out for 5 minutes and left.
He always works in it for like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. Whenever I was there. No, I got my own George story. This is when I first met George. So I'm up. I'm like, I'm doing my. I got done doing like my set of reps, and I'm laying. What I do is I don't really like using the dumbbell because there's too many bad high school experiences there.
You mean the barbell?
The bar, yeah. Because I would just, because that's when for some reason everybody just likes to stop, turn, and look at you. So I'm just like, fuck, like, is he gonna fuck up? Is he gonna fuck up? So I'm like, I'll sit down, I'll lay down on a bench, and then I'll use 2 dumbbells, and like, work, like, do 2 of those.
So you're doing dumbbell press.
Dumbbell press, yeah. I don't know the technical terms, yeah. No, but anyway, so I go in, I'm doing my sets, and then I get up, I set the dumbbells on the bench I'm using for a second, and I walk over, I get a drink of water. Now this is literally like probably 5 feet away. And as I'm walking back, before I even bring it back to George is there, and not even workout attire and fucking slacks and a like shirt tucked in or whatever.
Well, that's really what old people work out in actually, is like slacks and like a shirt tucked in. I don't know what it is. That's like what their gym uniform was.
Yeah. So he's like, you really shouldn't put the dumbbells on the bench there. It's like, I was just putting it there for a second. I was just getting a drink of water. Well, you really should put them back. I'm like, well, I'm going to go finish my set right now, actually. I'm just getting a drink of water because, I'm kind of thirsty. And he's like, I see what you're saying, but it's just, back in my day when we were done using something, we put it back, and it just would seem extremely rude not to do that.
Or we had a little Korean boy that ran by and did it for us.
Yeah.
And we slapped him upside the head and told him to get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, Paco! And then I'm like, okay, whatever. And I just
no
go back
pesos
to
for you.
Yeah. So I go back to do my workout. I'm just like, whatever. I'm just going to try to give this old fuck the cold shoulder. I just don't say anything. I go back to working out. And when I'm done, I'm putting him back, and I wipe it down. Wipe down the thing like we're supposed to, which I never seen that old fucker do. So then he abruptly, I'm getting ready to, I'm grabbing, I don't know, I'm about to do something else. And then he comes up to me and abruptly says, what I do is I like to drive around from town to town and hand out Bibles to the motels. Like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I help the pastor. I'm good friends with them. I like to go. I like to go hand out Bibles at the colleges and the schools, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. But,
Yeah, it is. But
unless it's a private school, it allows it or something. But
yeah.
which I'm not gonna make a fuss about that.
One time he gave me a Bible and it was a camouflage one.
of course.
And then I looked, I was like, oh, it's the New Testament. It's the boring one.
The old with all the rape and death in it.
The Old Testament's just like, it's like some of the best Jewish comedy you've ever read. But the New Testament's all like nice and Jesus, I mean,
he's cool.
He's a good guy and all, but the stories are just not nearly as interesting.
So I'll get back to the story. So he comes up to me.
Yeah.
So he comes up to me and he just for 5 minutes goes on and tells me how much he loves God and does this and does that. Mike, and his name's George. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. Well, nice to meet you, George. My name's Ryan. I make movies with my friend Spencer. We primarily do animated things right now, and I make comic books on the side. So, and then he just like didn't say anything, just walks off. It's like apparently that wasn't as fucking interesting as handing out Bibles, I guess. But
yeah, that George,
that old stupid crusty old fuck.
He's like better old fuck of the week.
Better old fuck of the week. We gotta be a new segment, just like
no, probably not. I probably won't find enough of them, but probably could get a handful every once in a while, maybe.
Just go back inside his fucking.
But back to the long story short is that gay Eagle Scout actually got his merit badge.
I totally fucking forgot what we were talking about. Eagle Scout, right.
Apparently another out of the closet 30-year-old Eagle Scout gave it to him. I don't know how that really works. Maybe once you become Eagle Scout, you can start just handing out badges like you. I'm not too sure like where like the rank is actually because I kind of ended somewhere in the Boy Scouts because I was like, yeah,
he's like,
I've seen what I've seen here, but
turns around like too fucking late,
So he got that, but here's another one. This actually has to do kind of a similar thing, no Boy Scouts, but something else. They have this thing that was started 11 years ago called Mix It Up Day at like elementary schools, and what it's all about is that on a day you're supposed to go and hang out with kids you never hung out before, and it's supposed to break up cliques and bowling and all that kind of stuff so people don't like, stay with their same group of friends and everybody gets to know each other. So you get a better atmosphere. There is a Christian evangelical group called the American Family Association that thinks this is promoting homosexuality.
Huh.
So
I'm just out of shit to say because I'm dumbfounded at the age we live in. We still fucking have people like they're gonna turn us gay, but
like that actually sounds like one of the best things I can think of. Mixed up day. That sounds great. Mix. I mean, like I know if I was a kid too, you probably wouldn't want to go hang out with those other kids, but still, the idea is a great idea. Hopefully, people get to know each other a little bit better. But to think that this is what will turn kids gay, it's just ridiculous.
The Korean kids are hanging out with the black kids. They're gonna turn gay now. Shit.
Yeah, like look what we've started.
Oh no. Even if they did turn gay, so fucking what?
Well, it's just one of those ones like I don't know why.
I can't help but think all the people are this afraid of gay shit are actually gay themselves.
That's really what I think too. It's just like if you're that scared of it, you must be hiding something and you just really don't want people to know. So on October, I think it's the 30th of this month, they want, like, everybody who's associated with that thing, that family association, or the American Family Association, they want the parents to keep their kids at home on that day.
Oh my fucking god. This is just getting fucking ridiculous. Usually I should be like, hey, it's the Old Man Orange podcast. It's gonna be fun, right? And I'm just like, I don't fucking care. This is just getting fucking ridiculous. The amount of how much they're trying to. It's like, if you're religious, fine, that's cool. I'm not religious, but whatever. If you're religious, cool. No judgment. Quit judging other people for not being fucking religious. It's getting ridiculous.
Apparently, also the association, it's located in Tupelo.
We probably have one here. I wouldn't surprise
Mississippi.
me.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that first name, Tupelo or whatever. And apparently, it's also, the government's classified this group under hate mongers, as in neo-Nazis and like Ku Klux Klan and like black supremacists kind of things like that. It's in the same category as those things, like all those real hate mongers.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's just like I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? Are you really serious?
That of all the good that can come out of it, they're afraid the one bad thing, it's not even really all that bad or bad at all really, is it's going to turn kids gay.
Yeah, I mean like. I don't I mean, like, almost it'd be more believable if they didn't want people hanging out with different races. That almost sounds more believable than this. Like, I don't know how you get gay out of that. That's the one thing I just don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gotta, fuck, I don't know. I'm actually out of shit to say because I'm just fucking befiddled about this shit.
No, I was trying to find like there's something in there that for some reason I didn't write down.
All
Well,
right, there we go.
I don't remember, but still.
I'd say
So
something. I
kids,
don't got
go
the
to school
notes.
on October 30th. Don't skip Mix It Up Day.
That's when it goes into play, October 30th.
Yeah, it's on October 30th. It's Mix It Up Day. It's a nationwide thing. I think 11,000 school or 1,100 or yeah 11,000 schools participate in it, and I don't see it as a bad thing.
I can see some groups up here trying to like say, yeah, don't go to. I can see some religious groups up here saying that. Not all religious groups, but
Yeah, I can maybe see something like that. I just don't. I
there's
really
so
just
many. I mean, because it's one of those things. I mean, I'm not even. It comes across like I'm a super like liberal person, which I'm not really. I mean, I'm fairly liberal, but this town makes you that way because you just get tired of seeing all the anti-Obama shit wherever you turn.
yeah. I know there was a new Obama anti-Obama sign I saw that put Obama as Uncle Sam, and it said, "I want more of your taxes
I
or more
want
of your
all
money,
your money.
or I want all your money." That's what it was, all, because that's what Obama's gonna do, take all your money.
Mm-hmm.
People don't read the facts. They just kind of look at this. They just look at like, oh, he's gonna like do this and
A few 2 streets from down where I live, there's a guy who has this statue, and what it is it's this kind of like Tin Man type statue, but what it is he painted it black. He keeps on changing it up. He painted it black and had like a Superman O on it, and then he had a big fucking watermelon in front of it. So it's like, okay, you don't like Obama, fine, whatever. I can complain about some things about Obama, but the fact that you're bringing race into it totally destroys your fucking like stance on it. It has no one's gonna give a fuck for what you said unless they're fucking stupid ass racists like you.
yeah. If you don't actually have something like logical to say about it, then don't say it.
And he keeps on holding up all these
don't pull up.
signs
It's just that they're pulling the racism card just really pisses me off. It's just one of those ones like, really, is that all you got?
that says
That just
you clearly don't care about his fucking politics. More the fact that it's like we don't want this stupid negative influence in our like is a president. It's like shut the fuck up.
Now, this is off of Obama, but I looked up really quickly. Okay, this is the main reason. Back to that Mix It Up Day thing, school.
Yeah.
This is the main reason why they don't want, because they don't like the idea of gays and lesbians getting equal treatment.
Is that what they said?
That's the reason why they don't like the Mix It Up
Oh
Day.
my fucking god.
Because because back in their day there was the smear to queer game.
He's starting to fucking show off now. This is just fucking depressing me.
I know, it's just fucking. You see this shit on there, and it's just like, really?
This went from being kind of like the old man orange, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna try and be funny, to just being like, fuck it, what's the
Fucking
point?
racist and anti-gays and all this shit we gotta deal with.
Well, it's one of those things I can't even feel like I can make like a real like fucking debate out of it because it's so fucking black and white. Because if I heard myself right now, I'd be like, of course fucking racism is bad, but the fact that we have to fucking explain it and try and get it across these old fucks.
Like, it's not even like there's not even like, it almost feels like there's not even like a good enough reason to do this. This is just like hating to hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where it's gone. It's like beyond. If there was if for some reason, like, I guess this is like the fear that they have in their minds, but it's like if there was like a gay kid just going around raping everybody, like, and it was like something like that, yeah, but that seems like a reason. But like for the fact that it's like, what's the fucking? They're fucking elementary school kids. Nobody knows they're gay yet.
What
they're probably doing gay acts just because they're just kids.
Yeah,
it's not gay when you're a kid.
And if it's in the 70s, it's not gay either.
No, yeah, that's the two things we've learned.
No, but it's like the second a lot of like hardcore conservatives are afraid the second that a gay person gets rights, so what's going to happen is like the lesbian couple down the road that has a vegan taco stand is just going to go around like just performing abortions on people who don't want abortions, right? They're afraid they're going to do that. Like they're just going to break into like pregnant people's house, the fucking plunger, and just go at it, you know?
It'd be like a video game.
Yeah.
You sell vegan tacos to get cash. Then once you get cash, you get to buy your gear to perform abortions.
Against their will. Yeah, they're afraid that's what's going to happen the second they give some fucking rights.
It just bothers me what the world's become. Really, it's like I've had conversations with my friend Climbing Matt, and like I'd really like to bring him on the podcast at some point. The day that he's not
pretty
too
smart.
busy. He runs his own computer business, so he's got his hands a little bit full. But hopefully, we can bring him on here at some point. But we always talk about like that, like. You literally, like, what about just, like, really living out in the middle of the woods and really just cutting yourself off from the rest of the world? Like, and not having to see this shit every day, not having to see these, like, dickwad people,
Mm-hmm.
Because the sad thing is, it's one of those ones, like, you could have 10 nice people, but that one person who's a total dickwad, that's the one that ruins it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's actually more nice people than there is like bad people, but they just don't. It doesn't take very much. Like
That bad person sells newspapers.
Yeah, exactly. That's really how it is, and it's just kind of sad when it gets down to it, really.
There's that. This is. I heard this off the Titus podcast. I'm kind of paraphrasing here, and this happened like a week ago. But there is some stupid old fuck, and that's what this. It's just called the old fuck cast. That's what we're all doing. We're just bitching about the older generations right now. But no, I think it was in. I believe it was
like
Tennessee.
Yeah,
it was in Tennessee.
Or there's two of them. There's two different ones.
There's two different ones. Yeah,
one of them was in Tennessee. I know that for sure.
I think the one in Tennessee was all saying like, "This isn't me. This is this asshole," and he just came out with a book, and I can't even recall his name, but type this in. I'm sure I'll probably pop up on Google or Bing or something.
Or you can listen to Titus podcast.
Or Titus podcast.
It's 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago, and he's funnier than we are. So anyway, the guy was saying like, slavery is actually was a blessing in disguise for the African American community because it made them strong and tough. And generations later, their kids got to be part of the greatest country in the U.S. of A. You know, it's like, is that seriously your fucking stance on that? Do you seriously believe what you just said? And the scare, it's three things at the same time. It is funny that someone is still that fucking stupid. It's sad that somebody's that fucking stupid. And it's scary. That asshole had enough support to get put into a position of power.
Yeah, it really is when it gets down to it.
And someone else in the South.
And I don't know if that's one of those ones, like that guy is one of those guys who's like the most optimistic man in the entire world. He's trying to find the positive in everything.
The most optimistic racist in the world.
It's like, he's just going like, he's like, well, how can we look at slavery as not such a bad thing? Like, this is the guy who just tries to go around like the world. He's like, how can we look at the Holocaust as it wasn't the worst thing? How can we look at Hiroshima?
It was a great dieting program, right?
Hiroshima. Yeah. I don't got anything. Yeah. Ooh, we gotta test the bomb in real life situations. There we go.
Yeah,
right in my book.
I don't know, but oh, never mind. Something outside.
Yeah.
So is the Russians? No.
Radon.
Yeah. But no, then there's another guy like in the South, who said if a kid gets out of line, then the parents should have the right to be able to kill him if he doesn't have. This is literally somebody trying to pass a law.
I tried to pull this out of the Bible. I don't remember that passage, but
it was was probably Old Testament if I had to guess.
Yeah, it clearly wasn't the Jesus one. I know that for a fact. Probably was a pretty funny story in the Bible though.
Well, no, there's
by the way it came across like it was.
Well, if you use the Isaac and Abraham defense, you could just say, well, God told me to kill the kid. Oh, if God told you to kill the kid, then it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. People out in the world doing all kinds of stuff.
It's just getting fucking retarded.
And I wish I'd. Do we even have a good topic to end this on? Like, I don't really like the idea of.
Do we have a fluff piece?
Yeah. Do we have something that just makes everything better?
Fluff piece.
I don't even have it. Like this other one I wrote down. I wrote it down at first just so I didn't know if there was gonna be other stuff to write. There was a Little League coach that punched out a referee.
That's cool. Like, let's end on that. That's what it's positive as
there was a video for it. That's actually caught on video. It's actually kind of cool because it's like, sadly enough, it just looked like an all-black team. I don't know why, but it was just like a bunch of 10-year-old kids playing football. Like it was like one of those, what do you call it?
Pop Warner?
Pop Warner, yeah. Something like that. And something about the play he didn't like. I couldn't really tell in the video because it was just there's a video. I actually didn't see the sound. But so there's all this argument going on with these referees and all this stuff. And you just see the coach. He's just booking it, and he runs by, and he punches that referee, and the referee goes right onto his back. But then he hops back up again, and he's all hot-headed now, obviously, because anybody gets punched in the face.
Surprised he didn't tackle him, punch him back.
I know. Everybody started holding him back at that point. It's like, well,
okay.
break it up, fellas. They should just let boys be boys, even if they're like 45 years old. But, yeah, that was kind of funny. It made my day.
The fluff piece. Someone got punched in the face.
And that's the best way we can end it, is that 10-year-old like Little League.
There's got to be something better than that. I want to say, all right, you already said Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So this usually we get
the movie news was actually better than
we usually get all like the serious shit out of the way first, and then just jump onto the fun stuff and the stuff we can make jokes about. But this is like shit.
The only other note I wrote down was dolphin rave.
Dolphin, we already covered. Yeah, this actually freaked me out a little bit ago. We weren't on a podcast or nothing. This has been, I guess, apparently common knowledge for a lot of people for some time now, but apparently dolphins rape people, which that just freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, well, like I always heard about the one because they had like the King of the Hill episode. That's where I learned about
I
it.
didn't see that one, so
So you're there, but like the new one is that they take him down to like the rape cave.
yeah, like no, I read an article on that too. Like the dolphin comes out, like there's like some lady was swimming with dolphins and she was never seen again. I was like, what the fuck? You know, it happened like in the 80s, I guess, or something. And like, apparently, I guess the dolphin, its cock comes out, wraps around an arm or a leg, and just drags him down. And they all just like gang rape this. It's fucking horrible, but it's one of those things. It's just because like
You can't help but laugh just because it's the dolphin.
no, just one of those things. Like it's kind of hard to imagine like animals doing this because I'll say this like dolphins. I mean, I never like really watched a whole lot on them, but it's always kind of like dolphins are probably like the coolest animal out there. They're nice, they're friendly, and there are accounts. There are accounts of dolphins actually saving people from sharks and other like sea life. So that's just fucking that's
But
awesome.
they gotta pay for it. That's
It doesn't come for free.
you know, it's like
Pun
the karma,
intended there.
It's totally like the karma system. It's like, yeah, you're saved now, but at some point, sometime,
Don't go into the ocean. You know,
you're gonna have to repay me.
you like some.
It's like it's almost like you went down to the crossroads.
Someone
Just
who
like
got saved by a
Robert
dolphin.
Johnson.
Someone who got saved by a dolphin earlier on just takes a step in the water. You see like this dolphin's head just slowly peek up, like they've been waiting.
Or they're just like they're at home, like in like suburbia, like in a landlocked town.
Ah!
The dolphin like on the phone is leaving messages.
Who is that, honey? Nothing. Ah! Ah!
Just like the one time I was out there in Hawaii, I was on vacation, and I was saved from the sharks from the dolphins. But then he said these words to me.
Ah!
Translate to, someday you'll pay me back. Somehow, some way, I'll get you.
In the worst kind of way. I understood that somehow. I don't know, but
That'd be like a good movie though.
the dolphin.
Like make it
He
like.
just has to avoid bodies of water because the dolphin's very resourceful.
Well, yeah,
just-
you thought Jaws made you not want to go swimming.
Yeah.
Wait now till dolphin rape.
Dolphin, yeah, no, it's because they're one of those things. They're one of those animals. Like, why the fuck would you want to kill a dolphin? And I still, even after hearing this, I know it's probably like, well, it's like what you said. Probably 1 out of 10 dolphins probably rape somebody. You know, like what you
It's
said.
just that one bad apple that ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know.
God, dolphin rape's not a good one to end it on either. Shit.
Well, what was the last Batman comic you read?
I'm currently reading. There we go. Batman's always happy.
He's technically not happy.
No,
But
he's not happy, but always makes me happy when I
his
read
life is
Batman.
just ultimately tragic.
Now, this is before the new 52. I just got. 'Cause I'm trying to catch up. I'm reading The Return of Bruce Wayne, which apparently after Final Crisis, everybody thought Batman was dead, but he wasn't dead. He just got thrown back in time. So what's happening is he's trying to get back to the 21st century, but he keeps on. It kind of goes through like just different time periods. Right now, I just read the first 2 chapters. He was in like caveman times. Then he jumped forward. Now he's in the pilgrim times, witch hunts
Nice.
and all that. And he's where I'm at right now. He's working is one of the witch hunters, but yet he's the voice of reason. Saying, no, this person's not a witch. We could let him go. Leave him alone. You know.
Perfect.
And I think he's looking out for a witch too, who's actually in Amazon. I believe it's implied. Actually, I said I read the first 2 chapters. First chapter and a half.
Oh, there we go.
I believe this person because he bumps into when he comes from the caveman time, he lands in a cave, and for some reason there's some kind of like tentacle monster thing that he fights real quick. He and the girl get out of there. There's this girl there, and it implies the girl is like some kind of Amazon. She has a necklace like a Wonder Woman type crest. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, I think that's a good place to end it at.
Yeah, we just gotta. It's sad. How do we? Batman, of course. You know. Whatever
Always
works
like
though.
Batman. Well, that's where we end it. Make sure you
Actually,
go.
Sorry, I want to actually chime in for a second. This is like 2 episodes later, but I'd like to give a shout out actually to the Continue cast because you actually wrote to them a little bit ago, and it was they're acknowledging you, but it was just kind of cool. They gave us a shout out on their podcast because you wrote in and suggested they play Super Metroid, and that's going to be their next thing. And Continue cast, they're really funny group of guys. They have a YouTube channel, just Continue ? And what it is they're playing video games and they're just talking over it. They're making jokes. It's Nick, Paul, and Josh. That's their names, right? Nick, Paul, and Josh. They're a really funny group of guys. They have a podcast called Continue Cast, I get mine off iTunes. You can probably get it on Zune and other plaplaces as well.
Yeah, I get mine on Zune.
And Podomatic, is that what they're on?
They're on Podomatic, and you can also get them on YouTube, obviously.
And they actually they gave a shout out to us, and they on the Continue Cast, what they do is they'll review a video game. They'll like you're the one that actually you want you to talk about because you're the one that got me into
I can explain it pretty quickly too. Pretty much what they do is they take an older game, generally a Super Nintendo. They played a regular Nintendo, but they're mostly always been Super Nintendo. They were gonna do a Genesis one, but that got lost. But so they take an old game, say like Final Fantasy 3 or 6, as I like to call it, and they'll play about the first like 5 hours or so, and their initial thoughts. They'll give you an overview. They'll give you some like history lessons on it, some technical information, some some of the creators and whatnot, and then they'll do a conclusion on it. Generally after they beat it, even though on Earthbound I was kind of bummed to hear that they only got like a fourth in the game. I like went out and raped that game, but other than that, though, I can't wait to see him play or do the Super Metroid one because I'm about halfway through that game so far.
The guy that's on the podcast with him is a guy named Luke, and they're all a really funny group of guys.
So yeah,
check them out when you can.
And make sure you check out the oldmanorange.com website where you can get everything Old Man Orange. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
See you later.